Good morning, brothers and sisters all over the world and in the United States. Welcome to our morning heart devotion. To start off our day, let us offer a bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. 천지인 참부모님께 겸배. 바로. And now for our family pledge, I'd like to invite Reverend Milhan.
가정맹세 1. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 처녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you so much, Reverend Milhan Stevens. And now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Andrea Thiemann. If you could please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good morning, Dr. Yong. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Our beloved Heavenly Parents, our precious true parents, thank you so much for this new day. Thank you for giving us life, for giving us all the elements that we need to be alive and well in this precious time in history. Heavenly Parents, I've been thinking lately a lot about what brings me true joy. And I've realized that true joy, when I experience true joy, it really comes from watching others living to the fullest, watching others experiencing moments of joy, like when my son picks up the ukulele and starts singing, making a song, singing for his sister. That brings me so much joy. Watching our precious second generation being matched and experience this kind of love for the first time brings me so much joy. Speaking to brothers and sisters in breakout rooms, Koa's smile and the second gen couples and their families brings me so much joy. And I came across Divine Principle reading this morning that says that you feel the fullness of joy when you are stimulated by your substantial object partners. So I realize, Heavenly Parents, that we receive that from you. That characteristic of feeling joy through others really come from you. And we're so grateful. So grateful for being able to not only know divine principle, but to understand and to feel it in our day-to-day lives. We're so grateful, Heavenly Parent, that you are able to guide us in maturing our hearts, in maturing our quality of love, and in helping us really understand, Heavenly Parent, who we are as your sons and daughters. And that we are more and more able to really put into practice all those things that we are learning daily, Heavenly Parent, as you guide us through Dr. Yong and these precious lectures that we're receiving each and every day. So I know there's so much more that we need to do. I'm still working on spring cleaning my heart and my house as well. There's so much that we still need to do, but we're so grateful that you are here to guide us each and every day. We're so grateful that we can feel your presence and we can feel your joy through others. And as Dr. Yong was saying just yesterday about how we were sent to our spouse's country to really transform that family through love. Heavenly Parents, we know how precious our mission is this time. And we really want to take it to heart, to take it seriously, and to be people who can, wherever we are, wherever we go, to transform the environments that we're in, to be the change that we want to see everywhere we go. That we cannot complain about our communities, Heavenly Parents, but we can only do our best to bring about the change that we want to see. And we pray that you can, through this morning devotion, Heavenly Parents, give us the guidance that we need to help us find the way to better serve, the way to better love, the way to be people who can be better witnesses to you. So we pray that you can really open our hearts and minds this morning, allow us to receive your word this morning, receive the word that we've been seeking for, that guidance that we need. You know what each and every one of us need. And we pray that you can be with us during this morning devotion and throughout our day. We want to humbly offer this prayer in the names of all Blessed Central families gathered here, and in the theme and family name of Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you so much, Aninja, for praying for us this morning. And now it's time for appreciation. So let's go into our breakouts and we'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, everyone, welcome back. I hope you had, again, great sharings with your brothers and sisters. Now for our first sharing, I'd like to invite Mrs. Caroline Henson. If you could please unmute and share your appreciation for this morning.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, Reverend Yong. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So today is Diane's birthday, and Diane told a beautiful story about her grandmother as well. So I really enjoyed that. So maybe someday she can share. I don't know. And I was saying earlier, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my guest coming. And she comes every week, and we study one-on-one divine principle. And when we are studying, my fallen nature goes, you know, she's never going to get these. She's never going to get that. and it's funny because studying divine principle with somebody is actually so much. I learn so much from it, and I can grow my heart so much through it. So I'm very grateful for that. And on top of that, she's from a communist country, so she has a very strong influence of a communist education in a very innocent way. It's just what she learned and what she was told growing up. And so it's another part of the learning process for me to understand another person, where they come from and coming from somewhere else. And I'm grateful I still have my physical body, and I'm here with all my brothers and sisters. I'm going to keep it at that. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Henson. Yes. It's crazy how when we're teaching the divine principle, we're actually learning more than the guests sometimes. Really, that's the beauty of the one-on-one, right? Teaching. I was hoping you would mention the birthday, but I guess it's too late. So now everyone is texting happy birthday. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, now for our next sharing, I'd like to invite Aunt Rennie. Please go ahead and share your appreciation. Is she here? Mrs. Rennie?
Okay, I was muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, good morning, everyone, and happy birthday, Diane. And I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that God, I believe Jesus brought me to true parents and to the principle, and I'm so grateful for being able to recognize at that time the value of what I learned and the questions that were answered in my mind and heart through the principle 50 years ago, a long time ago. And I'm just grateful for my family, because without true parents, I don't think I'd be alive and have the family I have. And I'm grateful for pledge number 6, where you know, that we can become a family that moves heavenly fortune, and we can convey Kevin's blessing to our community. I'm grateful to be able to know that how important it is to really try to create a heavenly tribe. And I wish I were better at it. But I'm so grateful for my children. I'm so proud of them for their lives, and I hope I can. I have some regrets, but I hope that we can really become more central in God's providence as a family. And I'm striving and not giving up, and I'm so grateful for the encouragement of Dr. Yong and brothers and sisters each day. And I thank you for everybody, and everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rennie, for sharing with us this morning. And yes, as you can see, Dr. Yong is actually in a different meeting because he was always responding sometimes, but he's not here physically. So yes, with that, thank you so much for sharing, for your appreciation. We're going to go into internal guidance. So let us open our hearts and mind and welcome Dr. Chong-Shik Yong.
안녕하세요. good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace. 안녕하십니까? Today, I'd like to talk about God's ideal family and the kingdom of peaceful and ideal world 2 from True Mother's Anthology, Volume 2. So let's study and invite our Heavenly Honey to read.
God's ideal family and the kingdom of the peaceful ideal world too. Now, however, it is entirely possible for the Universal Peace Federation to fulfill its mission, to unite heaven and earth and form the kingdom of the peaceful ideal world. That is because it represents God's victory and the fruit of the true parents' blood, sweat, and tears. Therefore, the Universal Peace Federation is the world's cherished hope. It will carry out the role of an able-type counterpart to the existing Cain-type United Nations, to renew the UN and provide the leadership for a new sovereignty of universal peace known as Chanuguk. Therefore, please bear in mind that you, as the world's leaders, are given the heavenly mission to build God's substantial homeland, which is nothing less than the ideal that God intended at the time of creation. Respected world leaders, what do you think is God's ultimate purpose for creating human beings? Simply put, it is to experience joy through relating with ideal families filled with true love. What does an ideal family look like? When God first created human beings, he made Adam, representing all men, and Eve, representing all women, with the intention that they become owners of true love. That was the quickest way for them to cultivate a character of true love. In a word, it was to secure a parent-child relationship with God, whereby they could live in attendance to God as their father and form a model family embodying God's ideal of peace. They were to have followed the path of living as one family with God, experiencing joy eternally.
Yes. Along with the renewal of the existing UN, build God's substantial homeland, which is nothing less than the ideal that God intended at the time of creation. The Universal Peace Federation will carry out the role of an able-type counterpart and provide the relationship for a new sovereignty of universal peace known as Chanuguk. The birth of the Universal Peace Federation is God's victory, the fruit of true parents' blood, sweat, and tears, and our hope and the world's cherished hope. The Universal Peace Federation will fulfill its mission as the able-type kingdom representing Chanuguk before the existing Cain-type UN. The ultimate goal of the Universal Peace Federation is, in a word, to secure a parent and child relationship with God, whereby they could live in attendance to God as their father and form a model family, embodying God's ideal of peace. They were to have followed the path of living as one family with God, experiencing joy and eternally. My brothers and sisters, do you understand what is the Father's intention to create Universal Peace Federation? This is really incredible organization, right? And then since he inaugurated about this Universal Peace Federation, he going around and 120 nations laid down trauma, and true children also going around and sharing the message. Why establish Universal Peace Federation? What is the purpose of Universal Peace Federation? We understand today very clearly the purpose of the Universal Peace Federation. That's why role of the Universal Peace Federation is really, really incredible. Living divine principle and human history is the history of the providence of restoration too. Let's study EDP.
Progress of religion and science. Second, considering the progress of religion and science, although they have been working independently with little connection to each other, religion and science inevitably must converge. Today, they are on the threshold of reaching this destination, where they will resolve all their problems together in one united undertaking. This trend shows that human history has been walking the providential course to restore the original world.
Let's study Father's word.
In order for religion and science to converge, since we couldn't unify our mind and body so far, religion and science couldn't merge into one either. Nevertheless, they must eventually completely converge. In the process, religion must become the center, not science. Human beings must also make the internal conscience their center, not the external body. So, the time must come when religious thought, which focuses on the conscience, will dominate the world. Do you have an objection to that? What will happen in that world? That is the world in which God's purpose would be fulfilled and God's love would be manifested. Let's say you made something good that you desired. Then, what would you like to do after that? Would you like to boast that it is a masterpiece of your nation? Love comes from that. Love manifests when the purpose is fulfilled.
Yes, since we couldn't unify our mind and body so far, religion and science couldn't merge into one either to this day. Nevertheless, in last days, they must eventually completely converge. However, in the process, religion must become the center, not science. Human beings must also make the internal conscience their center, not the external body. Among religion and science, we must know that all problems can be solved only when the role of the subject is religion. This is just like when a person's mind becomes the subject and the body becomes the object, order is established. When the object becomes one with the subject at the center, a principled order is established. One purpose can be fulfilled and God's love can be received. Next content.
We need to abandon the concept that religion and science can't converge. The reason why God sacrificed his beloved son Jesus on the cross was to open a way to restore the heavenly law that was lost through the fall. Thus, people who follow Jesus can have the hope of salvation. When looked at from this perspective, Christianity is exceedingly logical. Accordingly, we need to abandon the concept that religion and science can't converge. We tend to think that science is concrete and systematic, but actually, religion is more concrete and systematic. Science was formed by experiments based on hypotheses and assumptions. Have you ever seen an atom which science explains? It is proved only by hypothesis and experiments. However, the principle of the Unification Church is not hypothesis, but truthesis. It is an exceedingly scientific principle.
Yes. Christianity is exceedingly logical. Accordingly, we need to abandon the concept that religion and science can't converge. We tend to think that science is concrete and systematic, but actually religion is more concrete and systematic. Science is formed through the experimentation of the logic, hypothetical and subjunctive method. In science, hypotheses are formulated and proven through experiments. However, the principle of Unification Church is not hypothesis, but true thesis. It is an exceedingly scientific principle. The principle of the Unification Church is not it will be, but it is. Therefore, The divine principle must be proclaimed with confidence. When you declare the truth, the spirit world works only when you declare it with confidence, because divine principle is the truth. Do you understand what I mean? Eternal truth, not negotiation, not discussion, and then come out the result. First, the declaration must be made on earth before the spiritual world can help. That's why whenever you proclaim divine principle, you really have confidence. It is really eternal truth. And the true Father really confirm and again and again and again, even Satan recognize this is eternal truth. All saints and sages from spiritual world recognize this is eternal truth. Eternal truth. Even God finally, really giving absolute authority. This is eternal truth. That's why when you deliver the divine principle, need to have confidence. Okay. Today's youth ministry, family is the final destination. So if you make a mistake, there is no hope. Let's start.
The reason why we have families, you have to start as a child in your family and think about what kind of person you will eventually become as you grow up. In the Old Testament age, it was emphasized that we must keep the law and that we must live righteously. In the New Testament age, it was emphasized to believe in Jesus and become trustworthy sons and daughters. Anyone who has faith becomes a righteous person. Faith is, in the end, is to become a trustworthy person in front of heaven and people through the word. The completed Testament age is about gaining justification by attending God in our lives beyond the age of faith. So, the completed Testament age is the age of fruition. Every human being is born as a being and goes through the growth process of rebirth, growth, and completion. After passing through the age of children, the age of students, the age of youth, and finally, the age of married couples, they become parents by giving birth and raising children. A person's life always goes through the process of rebirth, growth, and completion when looking at the stage of growth.
Yeah. As you grow older, you have to think seriously about what kind of a person you will eventually become. People who have become great figures in history have always had a grand dream of living for their country and the world from a young age. Therefore, you too must have a clear vision and dream and goal for what kind of person you will grow into in the future. If you do not set a vision when you are young, you will quickly get caught up in a horizontal environment and will be subject to numerous horizontal temptations that will ruin your life. One of these reasons why today's youth are addicted to drugs, alcohol, cigarette, and games, and obscenity is that they have no dreams about who they will become in the future. If you have a clear dream and from a young age, you have a strong power that can overcome addictions to drugs, alcohol, and cigarette, and games, and obscenity. Know that our heaven-centered vision has the power to overcome any horizontal temptation. That's why as a seniors, as a senior blessed couple, always need to give a very, very clear vision to our young generation. Vision is very important. What is God's vision? What do you want to be centered on God's vision and God's wish? If they have a very clear vision, if they capture the God's vision, their purpose of life is very clear. Why they really, taking drug and alcohol? Why like this? because they don't have a clear purpose and vision. Therefore, from an early age, you must live with the vision of becoming true person and making great contribution to the country and the world. If you have God's dream, heaven will protect you and guide you on the path to fulfilling that dream. Therefore, you must have the conviction that you haven't centered the dream. The centered dream will come true, my brothers and sisters. In the Old Testament age, it was emphasized that we must keep the law and that we must live righteously. The next New Testament age was to believe in Jesus and become trustworthy sons and daughters. Anyone who has faith can become a righteous person. If you have the faith to treat yourself as God's, your life will become completely different, okay? Treat yourself as God's belonging. Then you can reach a different dimension. This is the real faith. Faith is in the end to become trustworthy person in front of heaven and people through the word. The completed Testament age is about gaining justification by attending God in our lives beyond the age of faith. So the completed Testament age of the fruition, after passing through the age of children, the age of student, the age of youth, and finally the age of the married couple, they become parents by giving birth and raising children. Next.
Family is the final destination. So if you make a mistake, there is no hope. The reason we have a family is to taste the fruits of love. Just as the purpose of growing fruit trees is to bear fruit, the reason people go through the growth process of rebirth and growth is to see fruit. You cannot do it alone to see results. Until the period of formation and growth, they grow as virgin woman and man, and when they reach maturity, they become husband and wife and bear the fruit of children. In the process of formation and growth, if you make a mistake, you can correct it again. But once you leave the family as a couple and make a mistake on the way, your life is over. You have no wish. If you make a mistake in the family, life has no way to go any further because the family is the final destination. Nobody knew this until now. Some people get divorced. It is several times more difficult for divorced families to reunite and start over again than the first marriage.
Yes, the reason we have a family is to taste the fruit of love. Just as the purpose of growing fruit trees is to bear fruit. The reason people go through the growth process of the rebirth and growth is to see fruit. To be fruitful, they must be paired. Until the formation and growth, they grow as a virgin woman and man. And when they reach maturity, they become husband and wife and bring forth children. Children are the fruit of true love. Just as a tree is cut down by farmers, if it does not bear fruit, you must know that you cannot enter the storehouse of heaven if you do not bear fruit in the heavenly world. In the process of a formation growth stage, if you make a mistake, you can correct it again. But once you leave the family as a couple and make a mistake on the way, your life is over. You have no wish. Therefore, before creating a family, you must establish a foundation of faith and the foundation of substance. If you make a mistake in the family, life has no way to go any further. Because the family is the final destination. Nobody knew this until now. Some people get divorced. It is several times more difficult for divorced family to reunite and start over again than the first marriage. That's why, my brothers and sisters, before starting family, you need to grow up from the baby time, okay? Teenager time, properly. and then really thoroughly need to have training. And as a man and as a woman, especially really keeping purity, and then really, you are really understand very clearly what's the purpose of our life. And then when you start a family, how can we love each other? You need to go through really formula course. Formula course is how to create foundation of faith and foundation of substance. Very important. In secular world, how many people know the value of the family? How many of them really know family is the final destination? If you make mistake, very difficult to restore. You see outside the people, once divorce, then divorce again and again and again and again. When you lost the first love, difficult to restore back. That's why, as a first generation, need to show the model life to our second gen and third generation. Our church name is what? Family Federation for World Peace. Family Federation. It's time to show the model. I again emphasize again, and when we are studying everyday fatherhood, how much he emphasized the importance of the family, the value of the family, my brothers and sisters. So far, any religion just only focus on individual salvation. But our movement very much focus on salvation, so focus on the family salvation. When we really properly run very well our family situation, you can manage everything, okay? Problem come from family, from the Adam's family, right? Father's guidance is really amazing. Please, my brothers and sisters, need to remember, family is the final destination. Next.
Am I truly a reborn, resurrected person? Do you think there is a way for me to go on the path to perfection without getting married? Can we see the fruit of love as children without meeting as husband and wife? Look at the people of the secular world. They claim that as long as they have money, there is a way, right? Even now, people in the world do not know that the family is the final destination. We came to know about this because True Parents announced it for the first time. This is something that all religions did not know. So we must check whether we are being reborn and resurrected every day in the family. True rebirth is accomplished by serving each other in the life of a married couple. From that point of view, am I truly a person who has been reborn through my spouse? Am I really a person who was resurrected through my spouse? If I'm resurrected, what's different about me? Reborn and resurrected people clearly have different feelings. A person whose life is completely changed is a person who brings about a change in heart.
Yes. People in the world do not know that the family is a final destination. This is because the perfection of human beings can be achieved only when they get married and bear the fruit of having children. Therefore, there is no way to go on the path of perfection without getting married, without marriage. How to bear fruit? How can you have children? Children means it's fruit, right? As a man, you can produce the fruit. Just a woman only, you can produce the fruit. Final destination means to create the fruit. To create the fruit. People in this world claim that as long as you have money, you have the way to go. This kind of thinking. Even now, people in the world know that the family is the final destination because True Parents first announced it. No religion has ever known this. No religion has ever known this. So we must check whether we are being reborn and resurrected every day in the family. True rebirth is accomplished by serving each other in the life of a married couple. Am I really a person who was resurrected through my spouse? If I am resurrected, what's different about me? Reborn and resurrected people clearly have different feelings. A person whose life is completely changed is a person who brings about a change in heart. It is really incredible. I really love a father. How much he clearly explained the life of the married couple and talking about the family. Wow, that's why we cannot deny our true parents are the Messiah, right? Such details. When you read the outside book, I'd like to so many books, you cannot find the solution. Divine principle only give the solution, right? So parents are really amazing. Today I'm talking about, am I truly reborn or resurrected person or not? Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Yong, again, for today's amazing teaching. I think today we can really learn that the family is important, that it's the key of everything, right? When we really focus on the family and truly focus on how we can guide our children also and give them the dream, then they're able to do amazing things. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And now for our living testimony, it's actually a recorded video from Carlos Scott. He's a New Carp member. So he's going to be sharing about his experience on joining CARP. So go ahead and show the video.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carlos Scott, and I'm part of the DMV CARP chapter. I'm really grateful for Dr. Yong and Pastor Ashil for giving me this opportunity to speak with all of you. I'm going to share my testimony on how I joined CARP, what CARP means to me, and my plans moving forward. So I'm asking for your open ears, open hearts, and for resilience, because I really want to share with you my experience. And to start my story, I'm going to begin with something that Nelson Mandela said. Darkness doesn't cast out darkness. Only light does that. Hatred doesn't cast out the hate. Only love can do that. And that framework is something that really resonated with me, because growing up was very difficult for me. But then I think about this, what Nelson Mandela shared and how that led me to the divine principle. I think about that, and I saw that, I'm coming from this dark place and then doing dark things. And if I'm going to confront that and stop that and change that, I need to love it. And that begins with loving myself. It began with me respecting myself and growing my character. And then that's when I ran into everyone. It's when I ran into Chris Cranbrill, Surue, and David Lee, the dynamic trio at the time, fall 2021. And I was listening to them. We were, I'm a college student at Montgomery College. And there's I'll say a festival that was happening, and they had all the clubs gather around and talk about what their club is all about. And everyone was so pretty self-explanatory. The chess club, all about chess. The basketball club, all about basketball. The booger club, right? A lot of clubs. And then Carp Club came up, and it was the three that I mentioned before. They were talking about their purpose, and I remember specifically Surue. She was like, we practice the 5 fundamental principles of peace. We are unique expressions of God, and we are all trying to create like authentic relationships, and that peace starts with me. And I was hearing that. I was like, yo, these freaks, what are they talking about? I was like, there's no way that they're people committed to this. They're really people who are gonna grow themselves. But I did it. I did find people who are working on themselves in a way that fitted my beliefs, because they also practice like interfaith. We practice interfaith at that time. And that was something I believed in. If I was going to commit myself towards working and growing, it was going to be for the purpose of bringing everyone together. And that was something that other walks of life didn't give to me. Other walks of life were very focused in their own bubble, but the mission for CARP is to create that interfaith, interracial and intercultural group. And that was something that I wanted to align myself with. And that's how I found CARP. That I was looking for people who held themselves to that standard, and I did. Now I'm in the position to hold them accountable for growing, and we all practice the divine principle, and we're all trying to align ourselves with what God's vision is. And that's something that will stay with me forever. It's what led me to be with all of you now, all of you that I will meet one-on-one at some point and embrace all of you. And which is another reason why I'm so excited. I want to make the effort that people like Father Moon, great thinkers like Gandhi, great thinkers like Nelson Mandela, I want their vision and their dreams to come true, and allow that love from them, that love from God to flow through me, so that his work can be done on earth. And that's my mission. That is my plan for the future. And I'm committed to that. Committed to working hard and growing every aspect of myself. Because I recognize that I'm part of a culture so much more than just a place and a time. I'm part of a universal culture that's existed even before I was born, and a culture that exists far after everything we can imagine. And I want to lead that charge into creating a better future. And that began with me loving myself. And I want to multiply that love. I want to allow that love to overflow, because that's how I identify what true love is. That it overflows, and that people become inspired by it, and that it nurtures others who may be in a dark place. Because I want to use that love to restore my own family, to mend what was divided, for me to stop thinking so negatively about myself, for me to not be so judgmental, and for me to be accepting and loving towards others. And now I want to not only apply that to my family, but apply that to all my walks of life. Every place that I am, that I'm going, that I'm part of, I'm going to bring that CARP culture, that CARP love, and multiply that. I'm really thankful to be speaking with all of you, and I'm excited to meet all of you. Please take care and have a great rest of the day.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. Oh my goodness. What a heartfelt testimony. Thank you so much for for just giving us this opportunity to learn from you. And I think sooner or later you're probably going to be teaching Divine Principle as well. So thank you, and welcome to our family, Federation family already. We hope you also have a great day, and we hope to see you soon in person. I hope to meet you in person very much soon. So now, brothers and sisters, it's time for our reflection. So let's go into our breakout, and we'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, everyone, welcome back. I hope you had great sharings as always. And now for our first sharing, I'd like to invite the Jerris couple. If you could please share with us this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. We're here, and it was nice. Certainly, that testimony is very moving for me. It gives me great hope on many different levels to acknowledge the work that we all put in to do something really hard, which is, create a good person in myself, that can be identified as a child of God, but also, create a family. And essentially, it's always about relationship. In no matter whatever parents put in front of us, it was always a question of us being able to figure out how to make those relationships happen. Whether that was the first time I met this person next to me, and we started on this journey, we had to figure out all kinds of external things in order to make the relationship work. And the only thing that allowed me to continue and allowed us to kind of come together in a way that was meaningful was the principle, in the way that it was the glue that held us together. And it even works when things kind of get broken. It's the glue. You can go back and put some more glue on your relationships and try and recover it and make it new again. And obviously in the family, if you're raising your children, you're in a relationship with your spouse, you're constantly on a daily basis trying to create harmony and unity in your home and in all of the give and take you have. And as soon as you walk out the front door, you're always confronted with the world that has different laws and different priorities. And how do I make that part of, how do I remember how to bring the essence of what true parents have given me wherever I go? So, there are rings of relationships, starting with your spouse, starting with your kids and your children, and then and then your community and outside your neighbors. How does all that work? And unless I can go back to the principle and take it into myself, I don't have a guide. I don't have a guidepost that really works. So I'm always grateful to hear how other people deal with the principle in their life. These sharings to me are very meaningful. I learn things through the sharings more than as well as through listening to the principle. So I was very, I'm just always glad to hear how people understand the truth and how they try and live it. And so I'm grateful to see you all this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. How about Kume-san?
Good morning, Dr. Yong, and then everybody. He's sharing every simple. So I'm just really grateful for this every morning, Dr. Yong, guidance, because the true parents, especially this morning testimony, I was so moved how much, there's divine principle to change the people. And him and me, I just really, really moved this testimony. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much, the Jewish couple, for sharing with us. And yes, the principle is the glue, and it continues to be the glue forever within our families, within our couples, even children and parents relationship. It's really that glue that brings us together. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, that analogy. And now for our next sharing, I'd like to invite Mr. Dennis Ryu, if you can please go ahead and share your reflection.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Yong. Yeah, my reflection today is kind of how much it struck me to hear about the family, not the family's final destination, but the the point that if you make mistake, it's no hope. So for me, I'm quite, I don't know, intellectual or whatever, and I'm thinking if there's no hope, so where is total salvation possible? But on the other hand, I have to understand also through this teaching this morning, and better understand that I have not to make a mistake, because I know many people, or they went through divorce, and because of this experience, it's really difficult, because it's a baggage, it's stuck to you. You don't want to do the same mistake again, and it's really difficult to overcome the pain or the suffering of this kind of a broken family. Yeah, and then by knowing this morning also, it helped me to understand that I should be a better person to hold that family together. Maybe I didn't realize it before, because just things were, even though things goes well, then you make some little mistake, and then you realize and you understand more that you should not repeat this mistake, but your own nature is difficult to change too. But anyway, we always tend to be better. And also the other thing, I was really also touched by the testimony of the young man, Carlos, I think. Yeah, he really could meet through the CARP member, meet his hope and or hidden hope or hidden desire of the heart. So I feel like he really went through something great there, to meet God or to meet his own original nature. Yeah, that's what I have to say this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis, for sharing with us this morning. And yes, Carlos, if you're listening, I think everyone was really struck by your testimony. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you all for your sharings. Now going to our daily reminders, we'd like to remind you to invite your friend, invite your family to join our morning heart devotion. This is truly where they can learn the divine principle and really learn how to grow themselves spiritually and physically, how to become better. And please go on edu.familyfed.org, where you can find transcripts and links to images, as well as the Zoom link. If you're joining on Facebook and other platforms and you would like to join us, again, go on edu.familyfed.org. You would find the Zoom link there as well. And please joyfully give from your heart. As always, we have Tal putting in the chat our link to donate. Please feel free to donate to our morning heart devotion. If you want to offer a song, if you want to offer a prayer, you can also email Tal at tzorounification.org. And the last announcement is actually, this will be my last day of emceeing, because I'm going to Korea tomorrow. So we'll have a new MC, actually. He's joining the crew. His name is Ricky Menning from Subregion 3, I believe. He's going to be starting from tomorrow. And after that, I will also be taking a break for a little while due to some personal schedules. And yes, so you will not see me for a while, but I will be back later. All right, now, so for our musical offering, we have Manuel Liba. So please go ahead and share your musical offering with us.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Yong Sik. I'd like to sing a Korean song today for you. And the title is Ongori. Translate is like a core, like within. And the Chinese character that's connected to that song, I got it to my wife. It says bitter sorrow. So I posted the lyrics in the chat. Let me start the music there. 내 안에 가득한 웅어리 그 웅어리 하늘 새가 울어온다 너도 울어 나도 운다 허무한 세월이여 이내 청춘 어디 갔나 허이허이 서울 보라 다시 모두 청춘이여 내 안에 아득한 엉어리 그 엉어리 토해낸다 뚫고 오르는 그 절규 하늘 소리 꽃이 지고 진다 멀어지고 나눠진다 무정한 님이시여 나를 두고 어디 갔나 허이허이 애달 보라 뜨거운 눈물이여 한맺힌
Oh my goodness. I'm surprised that I've never heard this before. Thank you so much. You can see in the chat, people are saying that you remind them of actually Father when he was singing. Your voice is kind of like similar. So I think you should sing more to our morning heart devotion. So thank you so much for that healing and really lovely voice for this morning. And for our closing prayer, I'd like to invite Mr. Kelvin and Hiromi-san. If you could please close us off in prayer today. You're still muted.
Okay, there we are. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Our most precious and beloved Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful for your incredible love and patience and perseverance as we are striving to grow our hearts and our minds. We are also grateful to our true parents who have sacrificed so much blood, sweat, and tears for the advancements of your providence and dispensation. We know, Heavenly Parent, that love is the most powerful force in this universe, in this world. And all that we do is for the purpose of growing our ability to love you, our Heavenly Parent, to love one another, and to love all of your sons and daughters. We are so grateful for this incredible time in history when so much is being revealed to us, especially through Dr. Yong, through morning devotion, so much spiritual food that we can consume and grow from. We pray that we can really take advantage of this opportunity and truly grow our hearts and minds and really put all that we learn into action through our life of faith. We are grateful again for you and for one another. We pray for your continued guidance and for our continued growth at this time. We thank you and we offer you this prayer on behalf of all brothers and sisters here in the name of Kelvin and Naomi Thurston, blessed and true family. Aju.
Aju. Thank you so much. Good to see you again, Thurston couple. Thank you for closing us off in prayer. And brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining every single day. Let us welcome Ricky tomorrow with love and a lot of joy. And yes, we will see you around. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.